Thanks, Ant. Hi, Thomas. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You?
Yeah, good, thank you. I'll just start with the team news. I won't mention the long-termers. So the latest on Lucas Bergvall, Richie, and does Biss come back in?
Yes. Richie unfortunately got a hamstring injury that'll keep him out for up to 7 weeks. Lucas could be available, hopefully available for Saturday. Bissouma is back, so he's available as well. And then both Destiny and Dom got or close to finish a good week of training, so they're of course obviously a bit closer to both be involved and available, but closer to play even more minutes. So that's positive. They look good, both of them.
Great. Conor Gallagher, fans very, very excited by that. Is he exactly the kind of signing Tottenham need right now? And what qualities will he add to your squad?
Yeah, I think it's a top signing. Can't praise Fabio Johan and Vina enough. The ownership for doing it and get it done, get over the line. We went quick. I think what he brings in terms of abilities, first and foremost, he's a very good player. Great experience in the Premier League, also in the Liga. Captained two teams. So that character, that leadership, that experience, and still young, 25, with plenty of development to reach, but coming in on a good level, bring his pressing abilities, his directness, scoring goals, but also being able to find good positions on the pitch is exactly what we need.
West Ham is such a big game on Saturday. It always is, but it just seems there's extra significance with the league table. How do you approach the game, and how do you personally deal with the pressure? A lot of the pressure has been put on you recently.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to take that, and that's it's all about how we can get the players out there full of confidence and brave and play forward. We need to. I know it's a big London derby, of course, against West Ham with the rivalry and everything, but it's all about us. For me, it's all about us. It's how we come out with energy, positive, forward, adding hopefully first half against Sunderland, second half against Villa. If we can do that, then we'll put a top performance out there, and then we'll win the game.
You'd like to think this is still early days for you. I mean, you seem pumped talking now. You won one in your first 10 at Brentford, but the rest is history. You see what happened after that. Do you need everyone to trust you and back you to turn this around in your favour?
Yes. I'm very aware how this football world works, no doubt about that. I know that we haven't got enough of the result we want. I know I can just see the small step we constantly are doing, and I still refer to the last 6 games with more positive, consistent performances. Not perfect, but there is some good signs of a team where we are talking about sometimes not being able to dealing with enough setbacks or resilience. The second half against Bournemouth and Villa was so easy to fall apart. They actually step in together. They add more. I think that's talking about a culture that's getting a little bit stronger, a little bit more. Come on, let's everything we can to turn this little momentum. And in football, sometimes momentum change like that. I can see the small signs of the culture, the training, how the boys have been training here, especially Tuesday, Thursday, very intense, focused, working very hard on the offensive part of the game, because we know the defensive in many ways looks quite good, not through the roof, but quite good. Big improvements, set pieces are there. It's the offensive we need to do better, and that's what we're working hard on. And I think all the small steps we're doing, with everything from signing Connor, signing John Hittinga as assistant coach, excellent signing, Rafi as a football relation officer, I think is the correct title. I'm looking at you, Anthony. But just a key member in the direction, how we want to do things. So everything is going forward. We just need to add a top performance and a win on Saturday. You're welcome.
Hi Thomas, good afternoon.
Yeah, no.
Conor Gallagher was obviously a very good player before he moved to Spain. The time he spent at Atletico under the management of one of the most demanding managers in the world, Diego Simeone. Do you think he evolved as a player? Added maybe anything else to his game his time in Spain?
Yeah, I think every experience makes us better in a way, either clearly impact or reflection over it, and learn from the learn from the experience, and the quite a few conversations I had with Connor. He really liked the experience in Atletico. Really liked working with Simone. Really liked everything about it. Of course, we were privileged that he would like another challenge, and it was possible. But I think that experience added to how he ended his last year in Chelsea. I think he was at times unplayable. I think he was a fantastic player for Chelsea that season. So that's the Conor Gallagher we are looking at. That's the Conor Gallagher that I'm thinking can step straight into this team and help us straight away.
We can see from your point of view why you wanted Conor Gallagher. Obviously, experienced player, very good player. But when you spoke to him, what did you notice from him? Why did he decide that Spurs is the right project for him, the next move for him?
I think he could see the. I think, of course, one thing is the Premier League. Secondly, is the project and the opportunity here. The role he could get in the team. I think as a first and foremost as a player that can help the team with his abilities, the character and the culture architect I think he is as well, in terms of pushing the group every single day, training, matches, and I think you can see is very exciting. There's some very exciting potential in this club.
Can I please ask you about Nuno? You face him this weekend. If you remove his short period here at Spurs, overall his time in the Premier League has been successful. You look at Forest last season, for example. How surprised are you if you've been with his results so far at West Ham?
Um, mm, I think Nuno deserves a lot of respect for everything he's done in the Premier League. Had huge success, especially as I say, Forest, Wolves, remarkable. What he did there in many ways. So I think he's a top coach. He showed it many times. We know that he's facing it's that every challenge is difficult, just different challenges. But for us on Saturday, it is about us coming out with energy, positive and brave.
Yeah. Hi Thomas, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
You just said there regarding Conor Gallagher, every experience makes you better.
Yeah.
How has the experience of you managing Spurs since August made you better?
Okay, with his. Okay, sorry, I understood the question now. Um, everything you learn about the club, how it's working. You learn about the staff, the players, every person I'm working with here. That definitely makes me better. No doubt about that. Closer, the more you know, the better decisions you hopefully can make. The sharper, the more precise you are about what needs to be done to get us to where we all want us to be, where this fantastic club should be, in the top of the Premier League. That's where we want to be.
All managers at some point in their career come under pressure, and there's outside noise about whether or not this will be their last game, or they've got 3 more games to save their job. And I never believed that I'd be talking to you about the fact that you're under pressure as a manager. How does it feel?
I think it's just, I would say, for me, it's only focusing on what I can affect. What can I affect? There's a lot of noise. I know that because I've been told, and I'm not stupid. Of course, I know we want more good results, but I also focusing on what I can see is actually working. We need to do more of that, and I know we need to focus on being calm and do the right thing and keep carrying on. If you do that, then you know it's a random game. If we keep doing the right thing, then that randomness, hopefully, because we do more things right, and we've done that especially the last 6 games, that randomness will turn because we keep going after the positive and believe what we're doing is the right thing, then things will turn.
I hate to keep harping back to Brentford, but the one bus stop in Hounslow thing and the home wins almost became, it was almost like you were unbeatable at home. Is it a self-fulfilling prophecy now that nearly every time you play at home with Spurs, your team is under pressure and feel like winning is so difficult for them because they've done it so on so few occasions in the last 12 months or even since you've been at the club?
I definitely think something, especially when we turned this around and we won 3 games at home in every competition in a row, that would be a big step. And I think it would be a very good idea to start on Saturday, that unbeaten run at home in many ways. Because sometimes it can feel a little bit not as smooth or easy, just, coming. But as soon as you turn that corner, things will be a little bit more smooth, if that makes sense. So hopefully that energy and then I would say collaboration between the team and the fans that you felt second half against Villa, first half against Tottenham, that's what we need to get more of. When you have that, then it's a fantastic place, our fantastic stadium, our home, and that's where we need to be. I mean it. That is any successful team needs to create a fortress. And I know it's been difficult, but that's what we're aiming for. And the more we do, the more we believe, the more we do together, the better chance we'll have. Thank you.
Hi there, Thomas. You mentioned John Heisinger there. I just want to ask you a bit more about him. Did you kind of drive that process to bring him through the doors? And also, do you sense someone maybe with a bit of a point to prove after kind of what's happened to him in his coaching career recently?
Yeah, it was a process we did together. Of course, I was a big part of it because Johan, Fabio and I was the main drivers of that. I think he was a standout candidate with everything he's experienced. Of course, obviously a top playing career. That's one thing, but also like how he then did after that in terms of his experience in the academy of Ajax. Of course, when you play there, that's one thing, but when you also go back and coach there, it's one of the best academies in the world. So he walked the hard way, and then on top of that had 2 good experiences in Premier League in West Ham and Liverpool. And now also been trying to stand out there where there's a bit more noise and wind sometimes. That gave him a perfect profile. And then, of course, I met him now a few times before, and all the character reference we took, just a top guy, top integrity, top football person.
No Richarlison for almost 2 months by the sounds of it. Kudus not back till April, obviously still waiting for Decky to come back as well. Are you in a situation where you are going to have to bring someone in an attacking kind of position in this window? Because, I mean, we saw the other day when you just didn't really have the options on the bench.
Yeah, it is what it is. We need to deal with what we have, but of course it's Villa, let me put it that way, brought a little bit more experience and quality on the pitch that we were able to do there. But hey, it is what it is. We are in the market, as I said many times, to see if we can improve the squad. But it needs to be something that we improve the squad short and long term. It needs to be that decision. It can't only be for the next 4 months. We need to think bigger picture as well. But of course, we know that we have few offensive players down in that aspect.
And talking about the big picture, obviously we know Fabio Paratici is leaving now to go to Fiorentina at the end of the window. You spoke about Rafi coming through the doors as well. There's so much change at Tottenham, so many kind of heads of department that have changed. Is it going to take a while for everyone to kind of almost like work out what they're doing and pick things up and take it forward?
Yeah, but there is... I know the one thing you don't have in football is time, but the one thing that's also been proven right to success is time. So it's a little bit of a conundrum. You need time, not only me, but everyone to gel and make this big engine tick and get up to momentum and pace, and then it's like an unstoppable force at one stage. That's the big aim we're aiming for. But there's a few new people in, and all of us to get to know each other and how we work and get the right process and structure in place is important. But alongside that, we need to perform to our best ability in the most positive way, and that needs to start on Saturday against West Ham.
George.
Thomas, hello. There's a great scene when Conor Gallagher plays for Atletico and he makes 2 crunching tackles, and the crowd go nuts. Simeone loves it, and he earns the nickname the Pitbull. So sort of two questions: what do you think of the nickname? But also, secondly, how did you sell the vision to Conor Gallagher to believe in your project? Because by all accounts, you beat other Premier League clubs to him.
Yeah, I think it's a great, a great nickname. I think it shows Conor, I think, have a lot of good offensive abilities. You know, his ability to arrive in the box, scoring goals, his way of finishing. I think he's a clever finisher as well. I think his skill set around the last third is good in terms of arriving in the right positions. You know, how can I say, I told him about the project and the plan with him and the club and what we are aiming for, and all that suited him very well. And also I think he suited us, and I think we suit him.
Is he probably looking also as well that he's got a great chance of making the England squad next summer? Is that part of his thinking, do you think, when you spoke to him?
Yeah, to be fair, that we didn't speak about. Sometimes you could do that. He didn't mention it. I didn't mention it. I know it's I could imagine it's a very important thing for him, but for me it was all about Tottenham. What can he add to us? Short term, long term. What is the plan? What is the vision for him and the club?
And just in terms of how you're feeling at the moment, it feels like you make progress. You sign Conor Gallagher, then you find out Richarlison's out for 7 weeks. Is it a bit sort of 2 steps forward, 1 step back for you at the moment? Is that how you feel, or?
Yeah, it's not a straightforward road. Let me put it that way. I think we're probably 1 inch on Mickey van der Veen's head away from a 3-2 winner against Bournemouth, and we have 8 points in 4 games, a little bit more momentum, and you know, sometimes these bits need to drop for you as well. And it seems like when we get a fit player back, another one get injured. But that's football sometimes. We need just to get through it and get through the tough spells. And there's only one way forward. That's keep walking. If you are in a tough times, you can only walk forward and walk through it and work through it. So yeah, be calm, carry on.
You've said throughout this season, throughout the difficult times, you felt very backed and supported by the hierarchy. I mean, the outside noise is sort of questioning whether that's the case or not, but your consistent message is you felt backed. Does the transfer business that the club have shown so far, selling Brennan Johnson, signing Conor Gallagher, even bringing in Johnny Heitinga, is that evidence of them supporting your vision? Yeah,
definitely. I think it's a very good sign of it. To sign, we know January is a tricky window to sign a quality player like Conor. I think it's a great sign of that. Also to sign John Heitinga, that I think is a very skillful coach. That he believes in the project and the vision from the club in a moment where from the outside doesn't look as smooth, but from the inside looks a little bit more positive. But of course I'm very aware that we need even more consistent performances and a better result. I think it's a sign of that. Tottenham have so much to offer. I think some of the appointments we have done on the leadership, on the ball, with Rafi coming in as well, I think it's very positive of what kind of direction you want to go in.
Just on Conor, I mean, he's got this amazing record, but I don't think he's ever been injured, which is really hard to believe given he's played 260 odd games, but it seems like it's true. Cue the Spurs fans instantly going, oh, the Tottenham injury curse is going to strike. I mean, how much was his availability, fitness levels, amazing fitness levels, a factor in signing?
Yeah, I don't think it is rocket science. I think a lot of clubs want to do that, but I think a couple of things you look at when you want to sign a player. You want, of course, key abilities, that fit in the role you're looking for. Let's say an 8 position, you want a pressing player, arriving in box-to-box midfielder, technical ability, scoring goals, whatever it is. Then you always like to have a 10 out of 10 character. And of course robustness is also a key area. And he ticks, I think, all 3 boxes in what we want. Touch wood. No, I'm not worried.
just lastly, we talked about Nuno earlier. He obviously had a relatively short spell here. One of the things that he seemed from the outside to have a slight issue with was connecting with the fans. How conscious are you of having that connection with supporters? How important is that for a head coach to have with the fans?
Of course, it's important. I think it's very important. I think connecting is a key. I think I'm quite good connecting with people, actually. So that's one thing. But also know in football there's one way of connecting. That is winning. So when we start winning enough, and we also start, I can create even more chances than we have done, which I'm not in doubt of. There is sign in the right direction of that. Then I'm quite convinced we will connect better and better. Not in doubt that I know I have no problem connecting with the fans. Every fan I meet, everyone that approach me is lovely, open-minded, positive. I know this. You can say it's not as easy to connect after a game if you lose and don't play that well. So all the interaction I have with Spurs fans have been top. I cannot praise them enough. I know they're super important for us. The thing we like to create together is, for example, unbelievable fortress at home. And when the fans are believing, backing us, doing everything they can, plus we need to perform, of course, then it's a fantastic feeling. Alex.
Hi, Thomas. I think you mentioned, obviously, Johnny Heitinga was a centre-back, and I think you've said that one of his primary responsibilities will be helping the team on the defensive side. But I think he was also credited while at Liverpool with helping players like Ryan Gravenberch improve as a number 6. Obviously a lot of young kind of midfield players here as well. Are you encouraged and excited about how he can help the team in not just the defensive aspect, but around the team more generally?
Definitely, I think it's just, when we split the responsibility to the 3 main assistant coaches I got in Andreas, Justin, and now John, it's like defensively, offensively, and set pieces. But all 3 have responsible for the overall team, all have responsible for the overall team game plan, overall principles, and the one-to-one interaction with players is one of John's key strengths. He's very good to connect, and he's also very good and direct.
And I'm not sure you're aware, but there were some protests planned before the game. A couple of the listed reasons for the protests were transfer strategy and clarity on the director of football role. Obviously, active in the transfer window, just brought Gallagher in, and then I suppose a little bit more clarity on the sporting director role now that we know that Karachi is leaving for Fiorentina. Do you think the club is stepping in the right direction in terms of addressing some of those concerns from the fan base?
I think, in terms of, you said the transfer direction, or what did you say?
Transfer strategy.
Strategy, yeah. No, I think we can only prove that by good signings and doing things the right way. And if someone is negative and there's a bad history or whatever it is, the only way we can prove it is by changing it. Of course, I can sit up and I can talk a lot, but we need to show it by actions. So that's what we're doing. And I just say behind the scenes, the strategy, the structure, the process in place looks good and looks like the real thing, but we need to just show it consistently. I think the Conor Gallagher signing was a good step in the right direction.
This is a little bit off topic, but I don't know if you saw midweek the Manchester City Newcastle game and issues with VAR with Semenyo's goal. Guardiola spoke after the game about his frustrations with VAR. I'm not sure we've heard from you actually. How do you feel about VAR, and if there's anything that you change about it, what would it be?
I think I'm quite pragmatic, so the VAR will not go away. We need to live with it and embrace it. But we also need to improve it as good as possible. Of course, for whatever reason 6 minutes too long. It must be, and unfortunately again, nothing is black and white. It should almost be a rule that after a certain amount of time, okay, the on-field decision is the right one. And then the next question coming to mind, if it's a clearly technical issue, so the automatic offside is whatever wrong, and then you have another problem. But you need to also back the on-pitch refereeing. Welcome, Dave.
Hi. I think we can all feel this apprehension around this West Ham game. You know, the fans. You know, it's obviously. I know you're not plugged into the media, but there's a lot of noise around this game. I just wanted to ask how you take steps to ensure that the players aren't undermined by fear, essentially.
I think the best way, no matter what type of game you play, is to focus on the game plan, focus on your role, have clear strategies of coming back to that if you, lose confidence or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So keep doing the same. What I liked, and I think and that's why I'm saying again, not everything is perfect, but there's been some games in the season where it's not going to plan, where we looked very open or very not in sync. That's why I'm thinking that's why I'm referring to the last 6 games. Much more clear what we want to do, much more in the right direction. Then it can be good performance or average plus performance or whatever, and that those minutes we need to put together so we play as many as possible, preferably 90 minutes. And again, the 2 good response from Bournemouth Villa is a sign that I'm sure they can cope with that if that should happen. The plan is to perform well and not going down 1-0 and just take it from the top. That would be nice.
And in terms of the kind of attacking issues which we all know need to improve, I think that would definitely help the fans rally behind the team. Well, I don't know if you accept that, but my question is, are you looking at the data and statistics to kind of identify areas of concern or areas where you feel you can get upsides?
Yeah. So we of course analyze every single game, looking with my own eyes and with the whole team behind it in what we would like to achieve. And then sometimes you need the stats as well, because you get some stats. For example, the deep run stats. We were bottom of that in the league, and that's a key thing. You need to run in behind if you want to score goals. That's a little bit down to types. That's a little bit down, of course, to training to enforce the message. And since that, the last 7-8 games, something like that, we gradually improved it more and more. So we have much more deep runs, and from being very low, now we are gradually moving up. So that's a key theme for us, that we keep doing that, because if you run behind and you play behind, you can score goals, and that's not necessarily a 60-yard pass. That can be a 10-yard pass. That can be everything. So that's the big thing. That's a big thing of scoring goals. So for example, that's a way to use the stats. And then of course it's keep working with our young players in Machitel and then Wilson to make them being more consistent, taking more of the right decisions. Kolo, I think he scored a great goal. Unfortunately, it was half a yard offside. Hopefully that gives him a little bit of confidence. Work very hard on that. Xavi, I think, looks better and better. The way he took the game in second half, I like that. So those are the 4 you can say right now we are relying on. And it's I think Machi is great signs. I think now Wilson scored, hopefully Kolo, so that hopefully help in that sense, and then Dom is coming back.
Just final for me, another statistic which I know I'm sure you put a lot of store by, these turnovers that you force them high up and which lead to shots or chances. Again, very low down on those metrics. I don't know if that's something that
we are turning into chances, or we are winning the ball high.
You're not forcing turnovers high up.
Oh, I think we are quite good at that actually.
But leading to shots and chances.
I know we win it high. We're one of the best in the league.
Okay.
And then I don't know if there's a stat on that if you're leading to chances. But I just know, for example, the Villa game, I think 4 or 5 of our chances came from winning the ball high. So the goal was, for example, a counter press from Kolo, winning the ball, driving, playing
I think I'm just
Wilson.
Premier League know
No, yeah, but it's just, but also the Premier League numbers, I know we are good at winning it high. Maybe we don't score or create enough chances, that I don't know. Yeah.
Craig.
Hi Thomas, I sat with you in the summer in Seoul, I don't know if you remember,
Yeah.
upstairs in
Yeah.
and very nice it was too. That day there was a lot of enthusiasm, there was a lot of optimism with the season ahead. So I just ask, what would the Thomas Frank of today, what would you go back to tell the Thomas Frank of July? What advice or what warnings would you give him with what you know now?
That's a good question. I think I've been pretty clear that it would not be straightforward. The first year, in many ways, is just not to talk too much about last season, but I think it's fair to say we are a bit of a transitional season, but in transitional season where we still need to perform. I still think we perform a bit better to where we are, but also I think a bit of the offensive play is the thing that I probably look back and say, please don't get Dom and Madison and Kulusevski injured.
Is that possible?
No, not possible.
When we spoke to you that day, you actually gave a lot of insight into you, the man behind the manager. We spoke about your reading, your podcasts, your partying, enjoying a beer. Does that Thomas Frank exist now? Has it existed since that day?
Still try to read half an hour every night. I think it's good to calm my head down. So there's a lot of thoughts in there in terms of try constantly improving and turning the corner. Still also listen to podcasts. Still do, I would say, enough exercises, but sometimes it could be a little bit more to make sure. Get a clear mind, but there's not been a lot of time to do a lot of other stuff, but that I knew would be very limited, especially the first year, and that's just natural. Walking into a new club, walking into a lot of people you need to know, wanna both change and improve and do things in the right way. That just demands a lot of time.
What are you reading? Is it all the coverage from these guys?
No, that's probably that's more fiction. I'm reading a Dan Brown book, the latest one at the moment. It's quite good, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, but I think it's about Da Vinci. What do you call it?
Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, Da Vinci Code. Thank you. That was I read that one, so now it's the new one. So it's about similar plot, just in Prague. So very good.
Trying to find the Thomas Frank code.
Yeah.
Can I just ask you as well, just lastly, you spoke really warmly about your children during the summer as well. How have they been during this period? You said you never got a word in with them. So what have they been saying to you, and how have they helped you during what's been a bit of a difficult period the last month or so?
I would say, of course, when your three children is living in Denmark, you don't see them as much. They are old, 23, 22, 19, so they're living their own life. And my two daughters, they don't see much football, so it's rather they ask how are you. I don't think you know their games. Sometimes they do. There's a little bit more focus now, to be fair. And my son is following a lot, and I speak with him about it a lot.
Thank you, Thomas.
You're welcome. Okay.
Hi Thomas. You've spoken a lot about change to the hierarchy, both incomings and outgoings. But how do you make sure all that change doesn't impact you negatively and cause any instability, especially at a time when you say you're still trying to get to know everyone?
I think Vina has been exceptionally good to make that how can you say tick together with Johan and Fabio, because there is some of the new appointments, of course, is I still have a touch point with them, but I'm probably not the go-to first all the time. Just make sure that all their roles are aligned, and all the great work they do is for benefit of the club and improving it in the long term.
And what would you say kind of the most important qualities are for a football hierarchy to possess, whether that's one person is the hierarchy or doesn't?
I think if you say the leadership on top, I think a couple of things: clear strategy, make sure we're all aligned, be calm, take sensible decisions.
And with Fabio, obviously leaving the club at the end of the month, a really important month for the club in the transfer market potentially. Just how do you make sure his impending departure doesn't impact any plans for January?
But I think everything negotiated, of course, between Fabio and Vinay. Fabio, I spoke to him yesterday. So he's working very hard to make sure all his tasks is finished well and with top quality for Tottenham before he leaves. Welcome.
Finish with George, please.
Hi Thomas, you spoke a lot about the kind of style of play and creating more chances. I guess with Connor, how does he help you do that?
I think he's very good to end on chances, and also I think that to have a midfielder that can add with goals as well. I think it's a huge quality because, of course, you always say that you need a striker that score 20 plus goals, but in reality you just need enough goals in the team. And these days, also it can be a winger that is the top scorer. So to have a midfielder that I think can add a good amount of goals in a full season, I think is huge quality, and especially his ability to arrive in the box or in and around the box, either from where we're banking teams in or from high pressure situations or whatever we talk about. He's very good at that, and as I say, I think he's a clever finisher.
And what does his kind of signing do for Lucas Bergvall and Archie Gregg, as people will see their minutes maybe shrinking, but can those two learn a lot of someone like him?
Yeah, I think no doubt about that. I think any club you need enough competition and qualities. I think right now it's like we swap Rodri for Gallagher. And before that, both Lucas and Archie played a lot of minutes. So they are still in a great development, and I think they're doing a lot of things right. There's not a lot of 19 years olds who play in the central midfield in the Premier League. So that talks a lot about their quality, but also a little about how rare it is.
And just finally, Dom Solanke being back in the squad last week, would give obviously everyone a huge lift. What can he bring? Obviously he's a brilliant player, but how can he really impact the way your team play? I guess getting you playing better football than you're talking about.
I think again, very unfortunate with Richie. I think he's done well. Someone told me that I think 2 seasons ago was where there were 3 90 minutes he played. Last season it was 5 90 minutes. Now he played 12 games of 90 minutes. So he's done very well, and he also saw the stat of strikers in Premier League. Some Ikitiki and Isaac and was it Waldemade? What was it from? Yeah, Brentford. Yeah, I can't remember, but the rest haven't scored that many goals, and of course Jago scored a lot of goals there, but the others have scored around 5, 6, 7, 8 goals, and like Richard 7 or 8. So he's done very well. But of course Solanke, what he brings is his personality, is another voice in the changing room before game, on the pitch. I think his link up and hold up play is very good. He's good to come short or going behind. He pressed very well, and I just think he's a top finisher.